Hello, hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this week's reading. Welcome back to my channel, too. So this week I feel guided to talk about Neptune that's going into Aries on January the 26th, and it will be staying in this sign for the next 13 years, so it's kind of a big deal. And so I was going to go and look and see the 3 star cards. This one, they're all kind of success guaranteed, right? They're like wishes come true, success guaranteed. So I thought I would do, what do you need? What is your star with regards to Neptune and Aries? How do you make this a success for you? So Neptune is one of the outer planets. It takes 165 years to tour the zodiac. So this is kind of a, for us at least, once in a lifetime thing. And so it's all about spirituality, imagination, psychic protection, and psychic perception. But it's also where we avoid reality, like where we escape with our imagination, addictions, and martyrdom. And so it's very connected to the Pisces zodiac. And actually, Pisces is, Neptune is a ruler of Pisces. And so it invokes, as I said, intuition and imagination, and it can blur the boundaries between the two. So for some people, Neptune is, where you're afraid of facing reality. And we're leaving Neptune in Pisces, which is really, for me personally, but I think for a lot of people, felt like we've been walking in fog, and you can't really see what's happening, what's in the future. So the fact that we're shifting into the first sign, Aries, is going to actually be quite a big change. So Neptune's also about your psychic permeability. So it's what allows you to soak up your surroundings. So it's also what makes you porous to the world around you. So, and this again will point to where you spend your time and how you're going to, what's going to feed your environment. So that's about Neptune. So the fact that Neptune's moving into Aries, Aries a fire sign, as you know, it's about life force, like raw, rude, passionate, challenging energy, and it's the first sign of the zodiac, and it represents spring in that way. It's also a cardinal sign, so it's kind of fresh, enthusiastic, headstrong. You can see the headstrong ram here. It's about initiation, new beginnings, spontaneity, rebellion, rebirth. And so this Neptune's moving into a whole new territory. So this is about the call to action, being really crisp and to the point, be really spontaneous, passionate. So it's kind of intense bursts of energy. It's kind of our inner adolescent, so, and it's very much about I, whereas Pisces is a much more collective energy and more like nebulous energy. This is like moving fire, fire, fire. So this could be a miraculous time, and that's kind of what I'm trying to point to. It's about inner life force flowing, really. So courage also is part of that energy. So Neptune moving into this energy is going to feel very, very different to us. And for that reason, I am using the fire spritzer, Calamari spritzer. So I'm spraying it on my hands. I'm rubbing my hands until the alcohol dissipates. Smelling in it, and then using what's left to fluff my aura and to impact my aura. So it's to give us, once again, courage, passion, movement. It's a lot about movement. And I think, it's impulsive. I think Aries, you have to remember that it's rather impulsive. So I feel like energy is going to start moving quickly, and it's a dynamic energy. So Collective A, this is your card, the star with guaranteed success. Collective B is another star. It's also another success card. Collective C, it's the shooting star card. So choose A, B, or C, or pile A, B, or C, and I'll meet you in the individual readings. Hello, pile A. This is your card. This is if you chose the Guaranteed Success Star card. So how can we make this Neptune and Aries a guaranteed success for you? So what is the light language symbol for this collective? Okay, we have high energy. So this is the card that points to the ability that you have to imbue everything you do with higher energy, higher perspective, and a higher frequency. And you can use the symbol to do that. Tushua tatataka shututu titanaka wutititiata tutu shikatatasa na 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 kutiti ataka tututu kuta na 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 kachititi uataka chichi watatana sukutu atatatana shishishi atu tatata katututu fititatu na 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 kashuti hadadadadadada. So it's like, it's literally, it's intention and frequency together. This is how I would describe this card. So whenever you have something that you have to do and your energy feels low, it's an encouragement to be mindful about how you approach it. So, you know, move your body before, put some music and dance. So it's really an invitation to make your frequency as high as possible through certain things like spending time outside. Also, it could be watching your food, because some food like really lowers energy, like sugar, alcohol, certain things. And you have to see this as kind of personal, see what really lowers your energy. So pay attention to that. But it's like whatever you have to do, you imbue it. Even like cooking, you know, for some people like cooking, if you even cook, it's like, ugh, another chore. But what if you put music on? What if you made it a family affair? What if like you're dancing around the kitchen? Think of the energy you're putting in the food. And so that's kind of the general intention here, is that you use your energy to add high frequency to everything that you do and every interaction that you have. So it's intention. I intend to put this high energy in what I'm doing. So the next piece for this collective, and we're not going to make it a very long one, I always say that and then I end up doing 15 minutes per collective, but anyway, is what is the shadow? What is the one thing that Neptune in Aries is going to bring up for you? Well, we get the card of Lilith. As you know, Black Moon Lilith was supposed to be is said to be the first wife of Adam before Eve, and she refused to submit to him, and so left the Garden of Eden. And she represents that rebellious part of us, the dark part of us, the part of us that we're ashamed to talk about or ashamed to show to the world because it's not socially acceptable, but it's actually a really raw and intense part of ourselves. You know, it has a lot to do with sexuality and to all these sides of ourselves that we like, oh, people won't like. So it's actually a really interesting card to have. I really like that. Lilith, it's like, ooh, this collective. It's time to unleash who you truly are. And where have you allowed others to demonize, suppress, or control you? So it's about standing in your power and being rebellious and untamed. You know, that's such an Aries energy. So it's wild. It's your wild and rebellious nature. You know, she was painted, especially in biblical texts, as a vengeance-seeking demon to instill fear and submission in women. But she was, you know, as I said, the first woman before Eve, and she was painted as a scorned woman who disobeyed her husband when he demanded that she submit and lie beneath him during sex. She refused, defied God and Adam, and left the Garden of Eden. And so she was turned into a demon and cursed for eternity. So I'm like, I'm thinking that, I'm like, where has this happened to you? Where are you doing it to yourself? This is a shadow card, and you know, whatever we repress just shows up in another way. So this is actually really a great vessel for collective healing, because we need to resolve this ancient wound within ourselves. So, so this card is about stepping into your sovereignty, showing your untamed and wild nature. And I'm like, woo, woo, let's go. Let's do this. Let's show the world who you really are. You know, the part of you that you're so ashamed to show. Okay, the next card I'm pulling is what would be like a helper or an aid or something that would help us, you know, navigate. So I have the Wizard of Awareness from this deck. Let's see what that says. 3, because I haven't used these ones in a while. Let's see. Your soul knows best, be still and observe. Well, that's pretty, so. If you're struggling inside yourself, step into an observer position to give you a new, powerful perspective that neutralizes any discomfort or overexcitement, because it gives you the capacity to see things clearly. People will come and go, experiences evolve from one state to another in a continual shifting and change no matter how much you want things to stay the same. The Wizard of Awareness asks you to give up your need to define or limit what you're experiencing. It's all good. Let it be and watch the miracle unfold without any direct influence. So less control, more flow. That's kind of how I would summarize it. Less control, more flow, which actually goes quite along with the Aries vibe, really. You know, what if nothing was bad? What if everything was perfect? What if everything was just like these divine moments of understanding and growth and perception that we're given? You know, everything, I keep saying this to my children, but I think it's true. Everything is relative, and it's a question of perspective. It's relative to what you've experienced before, and you're going to coat it with that experience. And then it's a question of perspective. You know, some things people see are good, are great for other people. So what would happen if you change your perspective? Okay, so one more card from our native spirits as I live on this beautiful land that was so honored and taken care of by the natives. What is their guidance? The native spirit. Gathering your tribe. So it's time to connect with your community. It's time to find your tribe or maybe create a community. I was thinking of that yesterday. There's a whole movement called offline that's developing everywhere. I've seen it in Europe mostly. And I was thinking maybe that's a time. It's a time for people to reconnect. Connection. You know, in the world of AI that's developing, human connection is really going to be key to everything. So something to think about, meeting up in person, making the effort to make a call instead of texting. Yeah, really the emphasis here is really on human to human connection and how much your soul actually needs this. So really, that's something to think about. The card is also reminding you, you know, to allow yourself to be supported by others. You know, your tribe is waiting to support and nurture you as you nurture yourself. And just to find your people and cherish them, because it's your vibe, right? It's your vibe that attracts your tribes. Just spend time with friends and family members who see the best in you. Take classes, share meals. Take time to find your people. You will live longer and be happier. Here, that's something that's in the blue zones, that the fact that they live so long is because they have a community around them and family around them. So for you, some of you who have been very lonely, and I know I've been part of those, I own up to it completely. This is your reminder to stay involved and to weave back into community, even if you're different. Even I think there's a lot of people who feel like you and who would love to connect with you. Finally, this week I'm going to give you like a crystal ally that you can wear these next 13 years, or who can be your, you know, hopefully they're easy to find and you can have them with you, and you can imbue them with how and what they need to do for you under this Neptune Aries transit. So, you know, you charge them and you put the intentions of the role that they're going to play for you. So in this case, okay, spirit ally for this collective. We have the card of Rhodochrosite. I probably completely butchered that, by the way, but it's okay. You have the card. And what is Rhodochrosite about? Because I don't know it very well. Let's see. This particular crystal has a resonance with the heart chakra. It's a heart stone and a moonstone. And it's about the experience of joy. So as when we're children, you know, it's easy for us to be joyous and free beings for most of us. So as you can see in this card, we have like the butterflies, and the butterflies represent self-transformation and evolution. So it kind of represents our souls that are like caterpillars that, you know, go into becoming a cocoon and then, you know, a butterfly. So, and this allows us to soar spiritually. So the rhodochrosite, it was known as the rose of the Inca. It's held as like a flower-like gemstone to the Incas, and it's come to represent the passion and beauty of love, reminding us of the open heart chakra. So it helps to clear patterns of pain and suffering and help us embrace harmony, peace, and joy. And it does that by the dissolution of bonds that bind us to our old ways of being. And this particular crystal has a deep connection with Mother Earth, the feminine, and the matrix of goddess energies. It can have a stabilizing effect on our brain, so that, you know, allows us to use more of our brain. It activates non-physical aspects of the mind, which is also very cool. And all this can happen during our sleep because it encourages deeper sleep. So maybe this is one that you can put by your bedside. You can use it at the crown and the third eye while you're meditating. And what it does is it pulls the energy from your heart to the top of your head, and then that will refine your heart-mind connection. So dance, this is its message: dance, sing, and emerge from your earthly cocoon. So it talks of upgrades, and yeah. So that's pretty neat. So collective one, I'm just going to give you the frequency that you can wear, or you can have nearby, or that you can put wherever you want to put them, as long as it's on the left side of your body, or on anything you're working on, anything you're creating. You can imbue it with, but I think the easiest way to do this is actually movement, dance, intention. So here is the frequency. Here is the card of the table of the card: 42, 12, 97, 11, 44, 72, 42. So pile A, I hope that's helpful, useful, and that will help you, will guide you through these next 13 years, some tools and tips to help you through the next 13 years, so that this is a period where your star can shine. Have a great week, and may this transit bless you beyond belief. Hello, pile B. So this is your pile if you chose this star, which is another symbol of success and dreams coming true. So let's see what your main light language symbol is for this Neptune transit that lasts 13 years. 13, as you know, is also a feminine number of good luck. So what symbol, like language symbol, key code, it's kind of like a code, right, will really guide people? Well, it's funny, it's the card for this year, isn't it, too? This is the card for 2026, soul music. So it's using the frequencies. Remember, everything is frequencies, but choosing high So it's a bit aligned with card. You might want to listen to pile number 1's reading too, because this is about feeding your soul, your body, your life with music that's high frequency. That's so not all music is created equal in this case, and so you're being encouraged to feed your soul with stuff that's empowering and feels really good to it. And the Sirius piece here is that every music on Sirius is a soul music that resonates with our senses, our needs, but also they play multiple roles. So the music that's played has a role, because some of the frequencies can be heard and felt by everybody. So music doesn't exist without purpose. So I think what's really interesting about this card is, you can use music to get answers and inspiration. It also can be healing. It can be inspiring, as I mentioned. So there are different types of frequencies you can use. You know, there's like stuff like crystal bowls or chalices. There's stuff like the solfeggio frequencies that you can find on YouTube, or light language is extremely useful too, because it's a calibration. There's other things like, you know, wind chimes, but nature's super, super healing, and the soul loves them. There's the Schumann frequency. So it's really being, as I say, I always say, this has to be one of my favorite sentences: be picky about what you allow into your field, but also be picky to what, so what you allow in by listening to people. So it's about inspiration, like it's about answers and inspiration. So, you know, think of it as in terms of, does the music make you feel good? Does it make you shrink? Does it expand your energy field? You know, sometimes I listen to music and then I'm like, I couldn't work all day. And then sometimes music like feels really like low vibe. So that's what you're looking for, the high vibe music. Atua titi akutu tua tamata o soko atata katiti. O nekiti oshu ata tatakati ati usu awe. Na kuchita wata kate. Shukutua tana wata tatataka kuchutu. Shakata totua tanana kachichi wata. Yakatete wata ne e shikutu. Akatatata yatakoshu. Please take a deep breath. Okay, let's see what shadow does this collective needs to work on. So what is the shadow piece to really embracing this Neptune in Aries? What is it that it really needs? Okay, one card. Spirit. What is the shadow, the big shadow piece for this? There we go. Ooh, the Black Lilith in Scorpio. Now, I can pretty much tell you that's about death, dying, maybe the fear of death, the phoenix, sexuality, all the lovely taboo money, the taboo subjects that the world loves and doesn't dare talk about. I love that one. So it's about asking you to transmute and all the dark energy from childhood or ancestral traumas that you keep projecting into your reality. And this can actually feel quite hard because Scorpio energy is intense, as we know. But at the other end of this journey is self-empowerment. So it's Scorpio, as you know, is a fixed water sign, which represents the depth of emotion, secrets, crisis, the occult, and sexual power. So I'm thinking a lot of sexual healing, a lot of sexual trauma here. That could be yours or ancestral. It's the lord of the underworld, Pluto and Mars, who both rule Scorpio. So this is intense, man, people. I feel for you. So if you have your Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, you can experience sexual trauma, power struggles, crisis, which can create suffering in the present. And so you might repress difficult events leading to conflicts and challenges. And this will definitely affect your personal power. So, you know, you can like grow up with an abusive mother, for example. So part of this, the shadow work here, is to heal your sexual magnetism by releasing shame and incorporating self-pleasure, sex magic, and self-love. And if it's about healing your masculine, it's about the power, your sense of power, but it's not about controlling others with it. It's about your own energy. And this is where breathwork and meditation can help you integrate it. But this is a call to a deep dive into your darkest shadow, which is about sexual power and magnetism. It's about healing that. So if you're thinking about doing maybe some tantric work, if you're feeling called to going to do some sex retreats, that kind of thing, yeah, just be mindful that because this is also about power, that you don't give your power to somebody else in the seeking of your own answers and your own power. But it's like it's ripe with all that fire you can literally move through this, I'm going to say, rapidly and with gusto. So what other thing do you need to understand that would help you with regards to this particular transit? Everything is falling. Yeah. Hope you're enjoying like how entertaining everything. The boxes are falling. It's just the dogs are running. Surrendering, surrendering. Okay, spirit guides. What is the one thing that would help this collective? So we have the card of the One Ring Circus. Now, as again, I don't know what that is at all. Let me see. Interesting. This is the card of independence. You're capable and competent. Independence is key now as you step into your journey. Others may not have the vision or resources that you need. And so recognize that all the wisdom that you've acquired along the way makes you particularly capable, competent of moving forward, and that self-reliance is important. So make sure that you maintain clear boundaries and be discerning with your partnerships, and have a healthy sense of where you end and others begin. So then you can enter into the best relationships and attract people who mirror back your wholeness. So interdependent relationships are always mutually supportive, stimulated, and transformative. So you can achieve anything at this time. I see this as a confirmation of what I just said about this card, which is that as you do this sexual healing, if you do ask for the help of somebody else, to make sure that you don't give up your power and that you stay independent. You know, remember that you have your own inner wisdom. And so they might have tools for you, but they don't have all the answers for you. You know, you, at the end of the day, you are your own answer. You hold your own truth and your own path, and to really, you know, be mindful of that. I'm calling in the native spirit of this land on which I live, and I'm calling their wisdom and their guidance for this particular collective. I live on Cherokee lands. So we have the prayer feather. Oh, that's such a nice card. This. Love is flowing to and through you. So no matter what somebody says to you, you need to love them anyway. I can't remember who said that. So just keep loving. I keep thinking of those Buddhist monks that are doing that peace walk. They, you know, no matter what arises, love that. Isn't that McKeon who says that? So just love secretly, love deeply and fully with every ounce of your being. Even if, especially, I'm going to say, if people aren't doing what you want them to do. It's easy to love people when they act wonderfully. The true challenge is to love them when they aren't. So I think the whole point about the feathers is they represent a connection with the Creator. And you can see there are all these little feathers there. And because birds often symbolize messages between humans and spirit. So this is your time to love and be loved. And the love that you send out into the world comes back to you 100-fold. So just as I say, whatever arises, keep loving that. So one thing you could do is you could create your own prayer feathers. So they're decorated feathers that can be used for many purposes. You can place your prayers into the feather and you can hold it to your heart and between your hands as you focus on your prayer. And then tie it into a bush so that when the wind blows, it carries the prayers to the Creator. Oh, I love that. And you can decorate feathers or bundles of feathers and then use them for smudging. So smudging ceremonies to cleanse your space and carry your prayers forward. So you're encouraged with this card to just love everybody you encounter and to bless them. You know, I've had some struggles with a few people this year, and every time I think about them, I do two things. I have a box and I put them under the stairs. So I put them in the box under the stairs. But before I close the boxes, and so I have a few boxes under the stairs with these people in there, because I don't know how to resolve the issue. And so what I do is I blow in peace be with them and I bless them on their journey, because I don't understand and I don't understand how to heal the relationship. And so, but that would be the general idea, that you just love whatever, especially what's hard to love. And especially the parts of you that you find that you're angry with, or that you don't love, you know, the parts of you that make you suffer or that seem to be messing up your life. You know, that's the call, to love every part of you. Finally, I'm going to pull a crystal ally. So that means you can go and buy them, because usually they're available to everybody, unless I think unless, well, I mean, I think you can pretty much find them anywhere. So, and then you can imbue them a bit like the feathers with your prayer for this Neptune in Aries transit. So what crystal ally would like to help this collective? Okay. Sugilite. Purple. Connected to Egypt, clearly, if you look at the picture. Probably Isis. Is it Isis? We'll see in right away. So it's Sugilite. Let's see what we can find out about Sugilite. It's also known as Lavulite. It's the flower of Isis. I was right. Haha. Purple and reddish purple with black branding. And it's connected to the crown, the seventh. And it's a newly discovered gem. And it's reappeared now to help usher in an age of open-heartedness and love. It is the most sacred gem of love manifest upon the earth at this time. So it depicts the mother of all goddesses, the feminine, divine capacity to embody love fully on the earth. And she is shown here wearing a crown of Sugilite, I don't know how you say it, to illuminate and awaken the higher self to divine love. This is a spiritual center of the body that is so often open in the very young. And it's about when we aspire to become like that, the divine child again. Okay, it's a dream stone. And it's also the siren of the golden dream of mankind. It summons to us to unfold that which we hold to be holy and bring it forth consciously. So with this vision, we can take the best of the ancient world and combine it with the wisest of today's teachings. So it's healing on multidimensional levels. It can heal physical, emotional, etheric, all at the same time. It supports wholeness on the vibrational and energy levels, and strengthening the heart to help us balance and harmonize the world and expand the ability to love. It also works on the throat, third eye, and heart chakra. Basically, it stimulates and brings into balance all the energy centers from the heart to the crown chakras. So it's kind of like an awakening of the sacred truth chakra that's happening. So it's here to awaken this potential. And its message is awaken to the golden dream of life. So I've never seen this, and I'm definitely going to look at adding it to my toolbox. I really like the energy of this Sugilite or Sugilite. So I hope this helps you. This will help you navigate your Neptune transit. And you have all these tools to help you. I also really like the prayer feather. And ooh, sex. Woohoo! So my friends, be wild, be independent. And yeah, this is the awakening of your power, your sexual power, and with a grounding into many things that are going to be really beautiful going forward. So have a beautiful week, and see you next time. Hello, Pal C. This is your pal. If this was your card, the shooting star, which speaks of, again, wishes come true. And this is the card that's leading you to success in the next 13 years and during this Neptune in Aries transit. So first and foremost, let me see which light language wants to be your ally, your key code. So remember, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Like it's going to guide you, but it's also going to give you answers. The symbols are multi-dimensional, multi-layered. So, Spirit, what symbol wants to work with Collective C? Upgrades. So this is about just a general upgrade in your life. Frequency upgrade, but it's an upgrade in every part of your life. I think that's also. And it starts with one part and then it ends up influencing your whole life. Sa katatua tanakachu atata kuetena ka wata kashi watina ka tititia watasa ushi atatana kakashuti nananaka tuta takatakuata hishi katatuatana sikata wata wati shushushuna hata wata kata 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 wete eneke Utiti watakatawa na 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 shi atata iatakatua takana watakawe. Also the card of like your system needing an upgrade, and on Sirius it's carried by what you call as an elevation master. So the idea is that it upgrades to allow a different type of light to be projected into your energy systems. And so, you know, I think our upgrades on Earth are actually quite hard because we are not equipped properly for the upgrades. And so that, you know, we go through these periods where the body just doesn't know what to do. So this is like, I think on Sirius, they actually prepare you much better, and then they work with you through the upgrades. So the idea is that this light code, this light symbol, could be your elevation master and help you work through your upgrades as they come through, and helps you reboot your systems too. You know, it's like every time there's a new download in a computer, basically you switch it off and you allow it to reboot. Well, that's kind of what this symbol does. So just know that your whole being is going to go through an upgrade, and that so that you can hold and express more light. And so usually I say, and I'm going to say it again, what you eat makes a huge difference to how quickly you upgrade and how easily you upgrade. So, you know, once again, it's the frequency that you're going to put in your body is going to make the difference. Make sure that you're drinking and eating high quality food, water, herbal teas, and yeah, less is more in this case when you're upgrading. And you can definitely use the symbol to help you both adapt, assimilate, and integrate everything that you're experiencing. So that is your symbol. I'll give you the frequency at the end. So what is the big shadow piece for this collective? Spirit, show me what the big shadow piece for this collective is. Fermentation, patience, and maturity. Ooh, I don't like that card. I can tell you, even though I'm not supposed to have an opinion. Cancel, delete what I just said. Okay, I have to say this. I have an astrological birth chart, which is all about maturity, which means that my life is supposed to only start really at 50. And so that's why when I see this card, I'm like, But the gift or the essence of this card is actually that patience is a virtue and extremely powerful to practice as an alchemist. So I'm a sprinter and I like to do things quickly, and I have very short bursts of energy. But what I've been learning over the last definitely cycle is slow and steady wins the race. And that's kind of what this card is about, fermentation. Like, it's time to pause, it's time to allow your wisdom, your time to mature. And, you know, it's about time to, this is a good time to actually invest in classes, you know, things that you're interested in, so that you can really allow your maturity to find its place. You know, it's about repetition, and it's about, you know, alchemization also, because you start with something and then you allow it to be imbued with all these different things, and then it becomes something else. So that's why the fermentation, they're talking about wine, they're talking about kombucha, kimchi, sauerkraut, all the stuff that's fermented, right? It starts as something and it becomes something else. That's better for you, well, in theory. But what is saying, they're saying also, is that this collective has moved past the dark night of the soul and released what no longer serves you. So breath work can really help here. So we're talking about, So so this is the message of the card. Like grapes into wine, your soul's gold is growing brighter and stronger through the passage of time. Your light is shining through the darkness. I think what I'm going to add to this group too is the challenge is that actually you're having to slow down in a period where actually there's a lot of momentum, and it's a very dynamic period. And so to not forget to stop and to allow things to integrate and ferment. You know, you have the upgrade card, you have this, and so I'm like, slow down. This is the card of slowing down. Let's see if we can get just a little bit more information. So what would help this collective? What would help this collective? So we have the card of the Bone Collector. which I'm curious about. Let's see what, well, that has to do with anything. Like a confirmation of this in this one. So you're whole and have everything you need within. When the bone collector appears, she's asking you to look closely at your circumstances to see if you're fully present or, sticky pages, reacting out of past conditioning and unconscious expectations. So it's about stopping. It's about the wounded places of ourselves that have adapted and accepted a certain version of the truth. And so then, you know, you're influencing the world and your environment with a very limited perception of the world. So it's where you feel unworthy, without courage, or flawed. So the bone collector reminds you that truth is that you are a powerful being with limitless possibilities. And this reminds me of, you know, we're all light. You know, we're condensed light. We're also 3D light. And so part of this is shining the light on the places where you still think you're not light, you know. It's time for you to reclaim where you were wounded. So the bone collector is your inner resource. Act as if you have what you need and you'll find you have it after all. Anything is possible. With awareness, the wounds of the past need not define you. So, you know, I feel these two really work hand in hand with this energy that's going to be very dynamic. So maybe you'll be able to move into this. But remember, you know, you do need the patience and time to be able to get to the other side of this. Okay, so now I'm going to call for a card that's connected to the native spirit. As I mentioned in, I think the other two, or at least one of them, I live on very sacred Cherokee lands. And so what is the message of the native spirit? Spirit keeper of the north. So we're calling in the spirit keeper of the north. Funny, all these cards keep confirming each other. So this is the card of contemplation. Connect with your ancestors, incubate ideas, mend relationships, watch your dreams, meditate. The answers are inside you, waiting to be heard. So, you know, repair what is broken in your home, in your life. Forgive those people and situations you've been dragging away for a while. So the north is a direction that symbolizes the darkest time of the night, the coldest part of winter, the dark of the moon. It's elder time and also a time of endings. So this is about taking the time to measure your life, exploring what's working, what's not working, what and whom you need to release. It's time to make repairs in your physical environment and your body. And this is also a time to dream and to make plans regarding your future. Your ancestors are close by at this time. Call on them. They want to help you. And so one of the things you can do is stand outdoors at night facing north. Inhale the darkness. Sink into your own depth. In the stillness, ancient wisdom emerges. You know, I feel also like telling you that the dark energy, you can really absorb that, and it's actually full of wisdom and intuition and guidance. So as I say, your collective is very much being upgraded, but it feels like a very deep and internal process, not an external dynamic one. It feels like an internally, like there's going to be a lot of movement, but it's going to be internal, and it's going to be maybe it might feel quite lonely. So call upon, you know, the bone collector, your spirit guides, even the shooting stars. Go and sit outside and, you know, sit with the shooting stars and allow that frequency to imbue you. Okay, so the final card for this collective is a crystal ally for this 13-year period. What crystal could this collective wear, work with, have by their bedside to guide them and access their own shooting stars, which feels like a very internal process? What crystal ally wants to show up for this collective? None. They're like, nobody. Come on. I know there's one of you that wants to come out. There you go. We have the Moonstone. Woo woo. Love the Moonstone. Even I heard that none of them are really moonstones. I saw that the other day on a reel, apparently. Somebody was saying, and it has to do with the shooting star, that if you want to go and get some real, like, interesting stones, you need to go where there's like a shower of asteroids shower, and you can see what's left after they pass, that you might actually find something. So this is maybe a call to that. But I love the moonstone. Probably one of my favorite stones. So as you can see, it's kind of white, bluish white gray. It's connected to the third eye chakra, and it's the gemstone of feeling and emotion, and it's extremely attractive to women. It was believed to harness the power of the moon, and it's an excellent stone for men who wish to balance their male-female polarities. Of course, it's going to enhance your intuition and psychic nature. It will also activate your feminine powers of intuition, clairvoyance, and healing. It's very gentle, especially for inner healing. Wink, wink. Inner healing. It's useful in piercing the walls we have built around our feelings, and it will illuminate what we often do not want to look at in life. It's also a gemstone of protection, and they carry, so ancient travelers carried them to be safe and protected when they were traveling. It's enhanced, of course, at the time of the full moon, and it can be placed over the third eye during the light of the full moon to activate the soma, the spiritual molecule of immortality within our bodies. So that's something you can do during the full moon. Man, I'm going to go and buy myself a moonstone. The message of moonstone is one of freedom and beauty. We are akin to Lemuria, set free upon her flight. So Lemuria being the moon. So there you have it, beautiful people. Let's just give you the frequency for upgrades. This is the table, the amplified table of the card. So the frequency you want to be wearing on the left of your body, or that you can add to anything you're working on: 31, 52, 11, 76, 75, 53, 95. And you can have it in your car. I mean, you can just experiment with it as you want. So I hope this will help you have an amazing transit, Neptune in Aries transit. Get your moonstone, you have your upgrades. This is going to be an interesting dynamic for this group in particular, because it's such an internal process, and it gives me an impression that there's going to be a lot happening internally, and that won't necessarily be visible to other people, but just know that it's happening, and it's happening through you, and that you have this to help you move through it. So I wish you a beautiful and exciting and deep, internally healing Neptune in Aries, and I'll speak to you next week. Have a good week.